Clean House 2025, um, and clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking, and residents of Dolton are demanding change. This was the resounding message at Monday night's Dolton Village Hall meeting, where tensions ran high as citizens voiced their frustrations with Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The meeting, scheduled to address village affairs, became a battleground of political and public unrest, marked by delays, accusations, and fiery exchanges. Mayor Henyard arrived 30 minutes late without any explanation, leaving the residents waiting and fueling their growing discontent. For many, the delay symbolized what they believed to be a broader issue: mismanagement and a lack of accountability from their local government. What followed was a relentless barrage of criticism from citizens, who accused the mayor of fostering a culture of corruption and ignoring their concerns.
The disrespect that you guys displayed at that mic is unbelievable.
Henyard, however, did not back down. She stood firm in her position, dismissing the complaints as disrespectful and boldly proclaiming her confidence in securing another term in office. With an FBI investigation into village finances looming and the 2025 elections fast approaching, the stakes have never been higher. Dolton is at a crossroads, and its citizens are making their voices heard. Will the leadership change they demand come to fruition, or will Henyard's defiance secure her a political comeback? The countdown has begun.
I have the seat now, whether you like it or not. I am your mayor.
Monday night's Dolton Village Hall meeting was anything but ordinary. Scheduled to start promptly, the meeting saw a 30-minute delay with no explanation offered. For the residents who had gathered eagerly to voice their concerns, this delay wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a stark reflection of the frustrations they had long harbored against Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The room was packed, a sea of faces filled with anticipation and mounting impatience. Conversations buzzed through the crowd, and as minutes ticked by, murmurs of discontent grew louder. Some exchanged glances, shaking their heads in disbelief, while others openly voiced their anger. "This is exactly the problem," one resident muttered, highlighting the simmering dissatisfaction with the mayor's perceived lack of respect for their time and concerns.
I won my seat by 82%. Know this, I am going to come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious in the upcoming election.
The atmosphere was thick with tension, a mix of frustration and determination. People clutched papers, prepared statements, and handwritten notes, ready to air their grievances. Each passing minute only fueled their resolve. The delay, seemingly trivial to some, became a symbolic moment, a microcosm of the broader issues plaguing Dolton under Henyard's leadership. When the mayor finally arrived, the room fell silent. But it wasn't a quiet born of respect. It was the stillness before a storm. The audience's charged emotions were evident, setting the stage for what would become a heated and confrontational meeting. From that moment, it was clear this was not just a routine village gathering. It was a showdown between the people of Dolton and their leader. As Mayor Tiffany Henyard finally took her seat at the Dolton Village Hall meeting, the residents wasted no time in expressing their grievances. Their voices, sharp and unwavering, reflected years of built-up frustration. At the heart of their complaints were allegations of corruption, mismanagement, and a governance style they felt prioritized the mayor's personal ambitions over the well-being of their community. One resident stepped up to the microphone, their tone a mix of disappointment and anger. "We sacrificed 32 minutes to someone who doesn't respect anyone's time but her own," they said, capturing the sentiment of many in the room. This delay, in their eyes, wasn't just about punctuality. It symbolized a broader issue of neglect and disregard for the community's concerns. Others accused the mayor of fostering a culture of corruption within the village. References to ongoing financial investigations and questionable spending practices under Henyard's leadership echoed throughout the room. The FBI probe into village funds added weight to these accusations, leaving residents demanding answers and accountability. The theme of change resonated deeply among the speakers. One individual declared, "Clean house in 2025. The clock is ticking." A statement met with nods and murmurs of agreement. Many called for a complete overhaul of leadership, emphasizing that Dolton could no longer endure what they described as Henyard's self-serving governance. The complaints didn't stop at policy and management. Residents also took personal jabs at the mayor, questioning her character and suitability for office. One speaker bluntly stated, "We cannot let her get back as mayor, and we know she's not going to win that supervisor seat." That's done. Their words carried a clear message. The community had lost faith in Henyard's ability to lead. Amid the chorus of dissatisfaction, the underlying frustration was palpable. Residents expressed feeling unheard and undervalued, as if their voices had been ignored for too long. They reminded the mayor, "We are not your subjects, we are your bosses." This declaration underscored the shifting power dynamics in Dolton, with citizens reclaiming their authority as voters and community members. As the grievances continued to pour in, one thing became clear. The residents of Dolton were united in their demand for change. The meeting wasn't just a platform to voice complaints. It was a rallying cry for a new chapter in the village's leadership. Whether or not Henyard would address these concerns remained to be seen, but the message was undeniable. The people of Dolton were ready to take their village's future into their own hands. Faced with a barrage of criticism from the residents, Mayor Tiffany Henyard did not shy away from responding. Instead, she pushed back with a bold and confrontational demeanor, signaling her refusal to back down. Her critique of the residents' tone was sharp, as she accused them of being disrespectful. "The disrespect that you guys just played at that mic is unbelievable," she said, her frustration evident. To her, the public's passionate criticisms crossed the line into personal attacks, and she made it clear she wouldn't tolerate such behavior. Henyard's responses were marked by unwavering confidence in her position. She firmly reminded the crowd of her electoral victory, declaring, "I am your mayor, whether you like it or not." She emphasized her legitimacy by pointing out her strong electoral mandate, saying, "I won my seat by 82%. I will come through on a landslide." The statement was a clear message to her detractors. Despite the growing opposition, she believed in her ability to retain power in the 2025 elections. However, her self-assured claims stood in stark contrast to the sentiments of the room. The residents' dissatisfaction with her leadership was palpable, as they called for a fresh start in village governance. While Henyard saw her electoral history as a mandate to continue, the public viewed her tenure as a failure to address the community's needs. Her confidence, though compelling to her supporters, came across as dismissive to those demanding accountability. Henyard didn't stop at defending her position. She also attempted to assert control over the narrative. She likened herself to a victorious political figure, boldly stating, "Just like Trump did, I will be victorious in the upcoming election." The comparison, while striking, further polarized the audience. To her supporters, it was a show of strength, but to her critics, it seemed out of touch with the pressing issues facing the village. Ultimately, the mayor's defiance left a mixed impression. While her determination was clear, it only deepened the divide between her and the residents. Her insistence on staying the course clashed with the community's demand for change, setting the stage for a contentious political battle in the coming months. Whether her confidence would translate into a successful re-election bid or further alienate the voters remained to be seen. The tensions in Dolton Village extend far beyond the meeting room. At the heart of the political unrest is an ongoing FBI investigation into the village's finances. This probe, centered on questions of mismanagement and potential corruption, has cast a shadow over Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership. While specific details of the investigation remain undisclosed, the very existence of such scrutiny has fueled public skepticism. Many residents see it as a confirmation of their long-held suspicions of financial irregularities under Henyard's administration. This backdrop of uncertainty has created fertile ground for political competition. With the 2025 elections fast approaching, Dolton is witnessing a surge in candidates vying for both mayoral and trustee positions. The growing roster of challengers underscores the widespread discontent with the current leadership. Each new candidate represents a potential alternative to Henyard, offering the promise of transparency, accountability, and a fresh start for the village. This influx of candidates is more than just a political phenomenon. It's a direct reflection of the shifting dynamics in Dolton. The village's residents, long dissatisfied with Henyard's governance, are seeking leaders who align more closely with their vision for the community. The sheer number of challengers highlights the perception that Henyard's administration has failed to build trust or deliver on key promises. For Henyard, this crowded political landscape poses a significant challenge. While she remains confident in her ability to secure re-election, the competition suggests that her grip on power is far from secure. Her claim of winning by 82% in the previous election, once a symbol of her strong mandate, now feels like a distant memory in the face of mounting criticism. The broader political context also speaks to a deeper issue, the erosion of public trust. The ongoing FBI probe and the residents' vocal dissatisfaction have created a narrative of a village in turmoil. For Dolton, the upcoming elections represent more than just a change in leadership. They symbolize an opportunity to restore faith in local governance. As the clock ticks toward Election Day, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Dolton's voters rally behind a new leader, or will Henyard's defiance and confidence carry her through another term? The answer lies in the hands of a community determined to reclaim its future. The voices of Dolton citizens at Monday's Village Hall meeting painted a vivid picture of a community determined to reclaim control over its governance. From the repeated chants of "Clean House in 2025" to the firm declarations of "We are your bosses, not your subjects," the residents left no doubt about their intentions. They want new leadership that truly represents their interests. This growing demand for change underscores a profound shift in the power dynamic between the people and their elected officials. For many in Dolton, Mayor Tiffany Henyard's tenure has come to symbolize a leadership style that prioritizes authority over accountability. Her dismissive responses to their grievances and her unwavering confidence in her re-election have only deepened the divide. The sentiment in the room was not just about dissatisfaction with a single meeting's delay or the mayor's perceived attitude. It was a reflection of years of frustration with what residents see as unchecked power and a lack of transparency. Their collective voice served as a reminder of a fundamental democratic principle. Elected officials serve at the will of the people. Statements like, "We are not your subjects, we are your bosses," highlight the community's awareness of their role in shaping Dolton's future. They are no longer content to remain passive observers of local politics. Instead, they are reclaiming their authority as voters and holding their leaders accountable for their actions. The upcoming 2025 election is shaping up to be a pivotal moment for Dolton. With multiple candidates entering the race and a unified call for change, the power of the residents has never been more evident. Their determination to elect new leadership is not just a political statement, it's a powerful assertion of their right to have a government that serves their best interests. The message is clear. Dolton's citizens are ready to chart a new course, and they will not stop until their voices are heard. The tension between Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the residents of Dolton could not have been more palpable at the Village Hall meeting. What began as a routine gathering quickly turned into a fierce battle over leadership, as citizens voiced their frustration over delays, corruption allegations, and a lack of accountability. Mayor Henyard's defiant stance only intensified the demand for change, with residents firmly asserting their right to be heard and their determination to elect new leadership in 2025. With the clock ticking, who will the residents of Dolton choose to lead them in 2025? The upcoming elections will be a defining moment for the village, as the people face a crucial decision about their future. Will Henyard's defiance secure her another term, or will Dolton's citizens reclaim control and choose a new direction? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe leadership accountability is essential in local government? Share your opinions in the comments below, and stay tuned for further updates as the political landscape in Dolton continues to evolve. The choice for a new future is in the hands of the community. What will they decide?